Oh, hey. Hey, I'm Bernie. They call me Big Graphic here at MVI. This is where I work, and I'm going to show you some cool products today that are going to help build your culture, hopefully. Even in my vehicle, we have our Zenjudo air freshener, visit structure card. All right, let's head in. Oh, before we head in, even this, personalized parking spots. Only park here if your heart is full of gratitude, right? Enlightened parking only. We are the hospice rebels. Come on in. So you come in, we have our scale of consciousness. How am I feeling today? Well, you're with me, so I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty cool. I'm gonna be Johnny Cash today. That's where I'm falling. And then over here, we have our gratefulness book. So every day we come into work, we fill out, we write one thing that we're grateful for. It could be something small or something large. I appreciate everybody joining me, so I'm actually gonna write everyone here. Then we initial it. And then we head in. So you come in, even right away here at MVI, we're the Hospice Rebels. We have how to transform your life. We live these things. They're not just things. We live this way, I believe. So come on, let's go get started. Hey everybody, thanks a lot for joining me. So I'm Bernie Bullock, and they call me Big Graphic here at MVI. And I'll just give you a very quick background about myself. So I have 2 degrees in design and marketing, and I love it. It's my passion in life. And I've been doing that now for over 25 years, which makes me feel older. So I'm a visual person. I love products, and we're going to get into how they can shape your culture. You know, it's almost an illness with me where when I'm driving down the road with my wife, I'll see signs or I'll see logos or billboards, and, you know, I'll say, oh, that's got great composition, or that's a good color match, or, oh, that's not so good. And I've been like that, you know, since I was very young, and I really love products and just art and design, and everything in my life is just, that's my passion. So I hope you get something out of this and get some ideas on how it can shape your culture. And I think, and I don't even think, I know that IRMs can change the world. And the reason I know this, how does these products work to make you more grateful? I'll tell you a very personal story. So I've been here now at MVI for almost 5 years, and about 20 years ago, my mom got cancer, and she died unexpectedly, very quickly, within 6 months. And I was in my early 20s, and me and my brother, dad, devastated. And the reason I know that these things work is some of this comes with age, but these products can alter your mentality and your biochemicals in a little bit every day. And, you know, when I used to talk about my mom, I would always use the wording like we were gypped, or I was robbed and she only got 23 years, that kind of, you know, verbiage. And over the years and being here and filling out the gratefulness book and changing, you know, evolving, and, you know, like I said, things come with wisdom and time, but altering your state where, I remember this very vividly about a few years ago. I was talking to a guy, a friend of mine, and the subject of my mom came up, and he was a new friend, so he didn't know. And I said, you know, she passed away. And I said, you know, but I was very lucky. I got 23 years with her. And I stopped, and he said, what's the matter? And I said, you know, I've never worded it that way before, that I was lucky to have that time with her. And it really brought into perspective being more grateful for things, because some people have things better, some have things worse, of course. But I've learned to kind of alter my gratefulness, and that's how I know that these things work. And it's a daily exercise that will get you to a better place and state of mind. So again, thanks for letting me share that. And I hope these help, these products, because I know they can. So let's get started. So things I've learned over my 25 years now is these items are not a quick fix. You know, these are just visual items, but they're an important part of building your culture. And you have to be vigilant to implement these. You have to follow through, right? Because it's constant progress. You're watering the garden, right? And you take these easy steps, but again, you can start to begin to alter your biochemicals, and over days, weeks, months, years, you can become more grateful and a better person, have a better culture. So I genuinely believe that. And this is not telling people how to live, but just how to open your mind to a better life. And that's what we all want, is a better life. And again, I hope these help you. So, you know, some people, they say, well, these are just swag, these are just items, right? Oh, you've got cups and signs, hats, stickers, door tags, rock the dock boxes, employee onboarding, etc. But they're not just swag, which swag stands for stuff we all get. These aren't just items, right? I got this term from my friend Nick. He calls them soul wrappers, because it's not the item, it's the magic that the magic isn't the item, the magic is how you use it, right? So I will show you some examples of how to build your culture with these items. And what's the old saying? If you don't build it, culture will build itself. So we need to build it in, again, those little incremental steps of building a better culture. And you can feel it, right? When you walk in the door, we've all walked into a business, or we've worked at a place, and there's no soul there. There's, you know, it's a drag to even be there. And, you know, everywhere is probably guilty of that. Even here at MVI, it's been pretty great, right? But even when I started here, so this was our lobby. Even us, 5 years ago, this was our lobby. Okay, and I went to Andrew and I said, you know, this doesn't really fit the MVI lifestyle. So this has evolved now over 5 years, and yeah, this is a little crazy. You know, this just didn't happen overnight, but you walk in now and there's a feeling that you get. And we have some of Andrew's music things in there too as well, but you know, take your Hospice to 11, we're the Hospice Rebels. That's our spec ops room where we do, you know, our secret work that, you know, we'll let you in a little bit of that coming up. But you walk in now and people go, wow, what is this place? What do you do? So these are the things that can affect your culture, even subconsciously. So let's start too with the perfect visit, right? Everybody knows the MVI perfect visit. But is your hospice just doing the perfect visit, or are you living the perfect visit? So let's get into that, right? When you're training your staff, are you training them and certifying them in the perfect visit? So we've done these for our Magic customers, right? And we've evolved our culture, but now we go in and you have your custom colors. This is just our sunny day version, but you have your custom colors and these hang on your walls, and this starts to build your culture, right? And when you certify, they give a certificate now. Then we've evolved that. Now they have custom pins. So the nurses and the aides and the clinicians, you get certified, and it's a big deal. They hang them on their lanyards or they put them at their desk, and it elevates the level of care, and it's special now. And we've had some where they celebrate, they make it a big show. It's a contest. We've heard stories of people fighting over, I'm going to get my pin first, the perfect phones or perfect visit, and it makes it something real. It's not just, hey, we're doing a perfect visit for our patients. No, we're certified in the MVI perfect visit, and there's a big difference, right? And then we've evolved even products with our customers where, they said, hey, we want to do a custom laptop sticker with just visuals of our perfect visit. Make it easy on people doing the visits. We can do custom things like that. We've done it. We have car visors, which you've seen, that re-engage the person doing the visit right before they go in to do the visit. Oh, am I doing driveway manners? Is my phone on vibrate? Just having these visual cues that remind them this is what I have to do before I even go in there. These help, right? We've done badge buddies. They hang them from their belt or from their uniform. Again, just another visual trigger, helps build your culture, gets a better visit, and just helps overall. So here's an example too of one of our Magic customers. So they have 4 different visits for different segments of the perfect visit. But when people get certified, they get a pin, they get their leaf, their name with a leaf with their name on it on their wall. And it's a big deal. They make it a celebration because you're now providing a better level of care, which is what it's all about. So that's one example, right? We've done rebrands, total rebrands for hospices. We had one of our other Magics come to us and say, hey, we've been in business serving the community for 40 years. We need we're thinking about our old logo is kind of, it's just looking a little dated. They came to us and said, hey, can you help us with rebranding our hospice? So we do a lot of different things, right? So here's their old logo. Worked with them for probably a few months. This is their new logo, right? And then they got a new building. They got a new compassionate care center. They got the sign on the building. We've helped them with their table, their banners on their table and their marketing materials. All these things. And this is where we want to let everybody know that these are available for everybody when they work with us through Magic. I mean, some of these things we can of course help you out. We're here to help. But again, these are just ideas to get you thinking about, well, what do we need to do to start building our culture maybe a little bit better? So what happens then when you start to have these items that help to start to build your culture, right? You have better trained staff. You have people certified in the perfect visit. What happens with better trained staff? Oh, you get better visits. What happens with better visits? Higher CAHPS scores. What happens with higher CAHPS scores? Better care resonates out into your community, right? And that's what it's all about. Patients and families, they get the best experience possible, right? And these things matter, and I have seeing it, living it here, 5-star hospice. So here's another example of just a simple item, right? A chair band, patient family chair band, or feeling chair bands. We've been doing these for a long time now, and we start every day by trying to put ourselves in the patient family chair. So, and when I say that I've lived this and I've seen it, another quick personal story was my dad was diagnosed, he had terminal cancer. And when I told everybody here at MVI, the first thing Nancy did was she said, well, what hospice is he at? And she looked it up and she said, well, I have good news and better news. And I said, okay, what is it? And she said, well, they are a 5-star hospice and they are an MVI client. And the relief, working here really, really hit me. I got teary-eyed. And then, as he progressed, he went into their hospice house, and it was so humbling to be there with my family, and it was so seamless and very cathartic seeing the visit and seeing the steps take place. And they didn't pick up on the visit because they don't do this for a living, but getting to see the eye level lean in and the steps in person was it was very powerful, and it makes me very grateful that I kind of knew what was going on, and to see the level of care that he got. So when I say I've seen it and I lived it, I've seen it firsthand, and I can say that it works, and it was the best possible way to, send my dad off, So I feel very humbled to be able to do this for a living, and I appreciate being here. And I am here to help. So email me. I'll give you my email at the end. So thanks for letting me share that story. So I'm going to give you another example now. So if I say don't think of a blue elephant, what's the first thing you think of? Of course, blue elephant, right? Why is that? If I say it, why do you see it? Because 85 to 93% of communication is visual/nonverbal. So again, these things, I'm not here to say that these products are the end all be all, but it's just a piece of things that can make your culture better, right?
Hey, it's me, Bernie. After the fact, I just want to add, the mind works through images, so you can't help but see a blue elephant when I say it. This is exactly why images and physical products are important. They impact the mind and change our habits over time.
So what's the first thing that I would do? You say, this is a lot of information. We got a whole bunch of products, right? We also have flashcards that we use to train hospices, right? They train the visit on these flashcards. We have other items that just make it easy. Perfect phone pad for people, right? So when you answer the phone, this is how you answer the phone perfectly, right? But the first thing I would do if I was you, and you don't need us for this, but it's very easy, is just get the gratefulness book, right? So you get the gratefulness book. Every day, you saw ours upstairs. Every day somebody comes in. You just write one thing you're grateful for. Starts to alter your biochemicals just slightly. And then every day it just makes you that much better, more grateful, right? And again, here's an old Seinfeld reference. This isn't serenity now, insanity later. This is factual scientific research that goes into things like the gratefulness book that alter you into a better state, right? Serenity now. So again, this is just a piece. It takes time to go in a better direction, right? And I'll give you an example too. So this is a real working example. We have quite a few magic clients. We've had some for 25 years, but the example I'm going to use is we've had one now for 3 years, okay? This year, after 3 years, they were named Elite Honor because of their CAHPS scores. So that means they were 4 out of 1,000 in their state that got this special award, right? And it's not all because of MVI, but it's because they do all the steps. They do the products, they build the culture, and this isn't just a one-day thing. This takes, again, weeks, months, years, but it works. We're not just saying these things, right? We've had hospices now in our magic over the years, even the past 5 years. They've won best hospice now 2 years in a row, that specific hospice, right? We've had other magic customers, like I said, won best hospice in the region, first time ever. So when I say that these work, here is the proof, right? So you ask yourself, how can we do this? How can our hospice do this, right? So assess, ask yourself, where are areas we can improve our culture, right? Gratefulness book, I've given you lots of ideas, those kind of things. What items can we start implementing? Just start small. Like I said, gratefulness book, then work up to perfect phone pads, work up to these other things, right? And if you do need MVI's help, I can't say enough about these two people, but Nancy Mueller and Kent Brooks, I mean, they're our magic people, and then Andrew, of course. But Nancy, I mean, she was the one that looked into the hospice for my dad. Her and her husband did the sweetest thing for my dad that you could do for another person when I first started here. And these are just the kind of people that we have here. That's a long story, but I'll just say they literally gave my dad, as at MVI, as we like to say, the best day of his life, and that's no joke. Her and her husband, and I'm very grateful to work with them. So if you need our help, we have Nancy, Kent. Email me. You know, like I said, I'm here to help. Andrew's here. So I'm just going to say a couple more things, right? And also, this is a big one, the power of attitude, right? And its ability to transform a life. I'm definitely a living example of that here. And like I said, some of it comes with age and you know, wisdom and that kind of thing. But your attitude, it really does have a big effect on your life and your well-being, right? And you say, you know, just change your attitude. It's not that easy to change your attitude. It takes time, right? But you make these small little steps, right? So what happens when you change your attitude? Produces better thoughts, right? What happens after that? Dominant thoughts change your beliefs, right? Then better beliefs create better action. Better actions equals better results, and you become what you think about, right? So do I want to grow? Do I want to go the other way? Or do I want to start to have better beliefs, better actions, build my culture, you know, that kind of thing? So that's a question you can ask yourself.
Hey, Bernie again. We actually found this slide after we already recorded, so I just want to talk a little bit about that. This is our CAHPS poster. And with this product, we can help clinicians link the perfect visit steps with the specific CAHPS questions so that clinicians are conscious or are aware of how their work impacts quality and the CAHPS scores. Thank you.
Another quick example, right? Simple thing you could do. Lookbook. We have one here at MVI. You know, the MVI look is we're black, our colors are black, right? And we're the hospice rebels. We look like a motorcycle gang in that picture. But that's our look. So we've done these for numerous hospices. But you just get your brand and your culture, everybody on the same page with everything, right? So this is what brand standards look like. I mean, how great is that? Everybody is in the same color, even the doctors, everybody looks together, and that's how it should be, right? So this is my last question, and I've actually stolen this from a world-famous economist. He spoke at my wife's university, but everybody always asks, what do you do? That's the first question people ask you, but I like this one better, and that's, how are you going to change the world? And I have seen it. I've been at other hospices. I see it every day here. And I don't get to do the visits and I don't have to do the hard work. But I know what we're doing changes the world. So, and I try to change it with my gifts and what I can do and my passions. And I like to ask that of people. How are you going to change the world? So here's my email. You know, like I said, you could email me, give me a call here at the office. We'll help you out. You know, if it's more involved, that's where magic would come in. But again, these are just ideas. These are just things to get the conversation started within your hospice. How can we be better and build our culture? And hopefully that helped. So we're going to take questions now, and we will cut to that.
It was sitting on his desk.
Oh.
Somebody I threw it to and it yodeled. It was beautiful. Oh, Jason in the 838.
But does it have a compartment?
This doesn't really make sense for your purposes, I don't believe. There's no reason to have a pickle like this.
No.
So I'll put this away.
But, wait. Could you go ahead and make it yodel one more time?
But you're not taking...
This is the gym enrichment hour.
Amazing.
I did think it was pretty amazing how Bernie was able to do this live and just dart and but between outside and here, not be winded at all. And anyway,
Change from pants to shorts.
Yeah, I was going to say the transporter thing's working pretty well. So yeah. Anyway, you got the main man of faith and power here, Bernie. And can I just say something? I know we're taking questions right now, but the point is that in cultivating an atmosphere, a culture, again, this is very much, people get weenie about it and push it off and say, they can't do much about it. But it really starts with the leadership, ultimately, setting the tone from the top. And if you want to have an inspired culture, then you've got to have inspirational people and stuff. But you're creating what? Conditions for people's success. And of course, a good attitude is the place to start. And so obviously the products we put around ourselves, so much shape. And it's a way to benignly manipulate ourselves. And it's just, I'll just say this. I would challenge anybody just to start out with the Gratefulness book. Make it mandatory. You'll find that some people won't put it in, and you got to go, where's their head? But you'll find out, not only do you have to summon and find the good of the things to be positive about, but also you see what other people, I get to see what Alex or Nancy or Bern or whatever, what they're grateful. So you gain insight onto other people. And I will say this, the power of an individual kind of goes back to your question. Just how much power an individual has on the culture. That one person, like when Bernie comes in, MVI is a happier place. And you want to get rid of anybody that's poison in the organization that has a bad or crappy attitude, because they will drive your superstars out. With that said, let's get into some questions. Bernie, any salvos of knowledge here?
Thanks for watching, everybody. And again, just email me if you have any questions. And I did have a question come up while we're waiting for other ones, but somebody asked what was the thing that Nancy Mueller, who's also here with us, they said, well, what did Nancy and Matt do for your dad? So I actually have some pictures too I could show you on my phone with Alex's help. My dad his favorite thing in the world besides his family was NASCAR. And so when he first got sick and I was talking at my desk, and I had just started here, so I didn't even really know Nancy that well. And this just goes back to her character, but she heard me talking about things I could do for him while we still had time. And I said, I'm gonna maybe take him to a race in Charlotte. And Nancy said, well, hold on, give me a couple of days and I'm gonna find out about something. And it was I didn't know what was happening. But so long story short, Nancy and her husband had a NASCAR connection, and Matt sponsored a couple of cars through his company. And when I say that they gave my dad the best day of his life, my dad, it was literally the best day where he got to live this NASCAR dream where they got us VIP tickets and he got to meet Richard Petty and he got to meet the drivers and hang out in the pits when the race started and go up into the VIP box to watch the race and all the food. And for somebody that I really didn't know, now Nancy and I have worked together for almost 5 years, but for somebody that I didn't really know that well to do that for my dad, and just again goes to how great people, their character can be in shaping the culture. And now, I'm indebted to Nancy and Matt for the rest of my life. And so they really are very caring people here. And when you have great leadership too, and then it just kind of trickles down, and it's just a place where anybody can thrive, and anybody out there can do these things, and then just kind of build upon that. And now I'm so close with both of them because of the people that they are. And so, yeah, thank y'all both for everything. I appreciate it forever. So here's some quick pictures I'll show of my dad at the NASCAR. So here he is. I mean, here he is with Richard Petty. I don't know if Alex can get that. Yeah. And my dad was 70 years old, and when he saw Richard Petty, he became like a little boy. Like, he was very shy, and so it was so great to see my dad, like, you know, for Nancy and Matt to give my dad this gift and for me to see it and be a part of it. Because he was just, you know, he was just a blue-collar guy from New Jersey, mechanic, and we could have never dreamed to do great things like this. And I'll just show one more. So here we are with Nancy and Matt and the Tide car driver, which they sponsored that car. But it was just the best day. And little side note too, so that NASCAR race, this is the last thing I'll say and I'll stop rambling, but they ran the race on dirt, which is very rare because it's an asphalt track. So when my dad was passing away, the last thing that I got to say to him that made him laugh, I said, "Hey, Dad, why don't we get out of this hospice house and go, I'll take you to Bristol, we'll go race around on the dirt." And he smiled. So, it just, again, when people do things and you have such a great culture, it just, that's something that I can always remember too with my dad. That was the last thing that ever made him smile. So thank Nancy and Matt again, and Andrew and Alex, and yeah, it's just, again, we're here to help, and I really appreciate working in hospice greatly. So thank you.
We do have a question.
Okay, let's go.
So one of the question is really, they said that this is so good. May I have a copy of The Perfect Visit? So Jim mentioned that he'll send it later today, but we definitely do have The Perfect Visit on our website. You're welcome to go to multiviewinc.com. And the big blue picture says Perfect Visit. You just click on that and we'll take you right to the Perfect Visit structure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the structure, and I think the CAHPS test is, poster test, when people actually formulate in their minds the cause and effect relationship between visit steps and the CAHPS, how it impacts it. Again, we don't have any problem with people going to 5-star in, what would you say? Usually it takes about a year because there's a kind of catch up. Maybe sometimes a little bit less than that.
You gotta get rid of the old stuff.
It's surprisingly short. Financials, of course, can be improved over, the one I'm working, we went from a -10, we're at like 18% positive. That's 28% move. That's about 10 months. So financials respond quicker than your evidence quality.
Definitely. So one other thing that Bernie helped a hospice do with the CAHPS matching kind of incorporated, they actually had a poster similar to what you see behind Bernie and Andrew created, and then they had a big kickoff to roll out their new Perfect Visit. And they actually had little round stickers with the question of the CAHPS survey on them. And then the idea was that as people came in and they started learning about the Perfect Visit and what they were doing in their organization, they would take their sticker with their CAHPS question on it and they would put it on the poster with the visit step that corresponded to that CAHPS question. So that was really powerful to see just how many stickers were on so many of the steps of the Perfect Visit and just really drive home, like Andrew said, that connection between the structure and how that's going to improve our CAHPS scores.
And the thing is, and it's not all about our own internal staff. You're making an impact on the external world. When the external world perceives quality, which is usually manifest in the external world on some level. Other questions? For the
No, just
Mr.
a
Bernard.
comment from Tracy Sanders that she's going to start the Gratefulness book this week.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And even, ownership. All leaders, so many organizations are full of renters, and I don't mean to overtalk Bernie.
I'm good.
But I was going to say is that Okay, the goal of any leader is really to make owners or cultivate the owner mentality. Well, another thing that we're going to introduce at MVI is basically how many pieces of trash or places where you clean up or something like that, and kind of track that on some level, because the employee just walks past the can or the cigarette butt. Whereas the higher consciousness, this is where the scale of consciousness, and you can kind of fit where you're going to be within that scale, even though it's made up, it's arbitrary, all that. But the people that are the most considerate of others will say, hey, I'm in an airport, oh, there's some trash, I'm going to pick that up because that'll save the janitor having to bend over. Or coming in, to the office like here, oh, someone discarded a cigarette or something. I'm going to pick it up because this is my building. This represents me. I want it to look good. And so I think anything, or cleaning up in the kitchen or whatever, all these are, again, kind of a sign of consciousness, of helpfulness, not being oblivious that, to the feelings really of others.
Mm-hmm. Any more questions, Nancy?
I don't see anything. No. Just wanted to mention too that Jim did put the link to the perfect visit in the chats as well. So either go to the website or copy the link in the chats, and you'll be set.
I was going to say, in a quick, even recap. Obviously, if you're going to be impressive, physical manual. This is a physical product. So, when you're rocketing up your nursing home business, well, people love to see your operational manual. There's a way to do it. We're just not making it up as we go. Mm-hmm. The flashcards, I watch clinicians sweat. I watch receptionists, because everybody is trained in the perfect visit. Working AP. The phone pad. The physical products. And then we've got all kinds of other marketing stuff, and it's part of the secret of getting the census up. Really when you get down to it, and that's when we dissect, for example, the 21 growth formulas for a hospice, for hospices that have went over 1,000 in census. This is all part of it.
There's another comment in the chat. We are focusing on a morale redo. With so many staff working more off-site, morale has become a challenge, and we are running off new staff. So this is a great way to kind of bring everybody together.
Yeah. It really is.
But I don't know how many hospices we go in, and something as simple as a lookbook and having a standardized way of your appearance. If you let people come in street clothes, I'm talking about executives, I'm talking about leaders, I'm talking about the CEO, I'm talking about marketing. Everyone has to do or style the look. And that's put it this way, people that don't do that don't understand standardization at all. And I've never seen a high quality hospice not have a very, I don't like to call it a uniform, but a look. And we like lookbooks because it rhymes. So yeah.
That's it?
Is that it?
I think we're good.
And shout out to whoever said, I saw somebody said they liked my Jeep. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you all.